To everyone else, they seemed like a happy family, but in reality, they were being increasingly controlled and isolated. Just days after leaving her husband, Claire Hart was shot dead, along with her 19-year-old daughter Charlotte. He then killed himself. Charlotte's brothers Luke and Ryan say their father had moved them to an isolated farmhouse in Lincolnshire, knowing they wouldn't be able to get help.
No one was told that we were moving house. We just disappeared. We had no friends or family nearby. We just arrived there. We weren't really allowed to socialise or take part in clubs. So nobody really knew who we were, and no one could really see into our lives.
Without anyone to turn to, they became increasingly desperate.
Abuse, you only see it when you try and leave, when things start going wrong. And when you try and step out, you realise you're not allowed to step out. And all of these barriers that were put in place suddenly are now massive walls that you can't get over. And in a rural community, all of those walls, they're much bigger.
Today's report found rural victims are half as likely to report their abuse to others. Their abuse goes on significantly longer, and they find it harder to access support services.
The rural communities don't want to know, so there's higher levels of stigma and shame attached to abuse in rural communities than there are in urban communities, and there is a very traditional hierarchy and structure in many rural communities, which means it's much more difficult for abuse victims to seek help.
The brothers now campaign to help other victims.
He wanted to do everything he could to ruin the lives that we were going on to live. By learning to find something that I can do which is positive out of what we've lost, in a way helps to remember Mum and Charlotte and forces our father out of our lives.
Luke and Ryan say if they hadn't been so isolated, their mum and sister could be alive today, and they don't want this to happen to anyone else. Layla Hayes, 5 News.